Okay, so today, let's dive into something that's probably been on your mind a lot these days.
Yeah.
The future of work.
Definitely.
We're going to go deep on this one.
Okay.
We're exploring how one company is tackling a major challenge.
Okay.
Keeping those remote teams connected.
And what's so interesting here is that it's not just about, like, slapping some tech on the problem.
Right.
We're looking at excerpts from an interview with Zachary Wright,
Okay.
CEO of Grapevine Software,
Mm-hmm.
and his background in psychology adds a whole other layer to this.
Right. It's like he's thinking about the human side of work,
Yes.
not just the digital tools.
Exactly.
And his own story is kind of a wild ride.
Yep. Tell me about it.
Imagine being this close to landing a VP role at a hot startup,
Oh, wow.
going through the whole interview process, and then poof, the CEO ghosts him.
Ouch. That's got to sting.
Right.
And, that feeling of uncertainty in the job market,
Yeah.
the whole is it me, is it them thing,
Mhm.
that's something I think a lot of us can relate to these days.
Totally. And for Zach, that experience, coupled with his own dive into the world of remote work, led him to identify a problem that I bet you've encountered.
Okay, what's that?
Remote work sounds amazing in theory,
Yes.
but in reality...
It can be a chaotic juggling act.
Oh, tell me about it.
You're bouncing between Slack, email, Notion, Coda,
So many tabs.
a million tabs open.
Oh, yes.
And that's before lunchtime.
And that's where Grapevine comes in.
Okay.
They're calling it a virtual office.
A virtual office.
Which, I'll admit, sounded a bit gimmicky at first.
Okay.
But the more I read, the more I started to see what they're getting at.
Okay.
It's about recreating that sense of connection you get in a physical office.
Okay.
But in the digital world...
Think about it, those quick chats by the coffee machine.
Yeah.
Overhearing a conversation that sparks an idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's often missing when everyone's working remotely.
Right. And even if you're not fully remote, haven't you ever felt that disconnect?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You're stuck on a project.
Yep.
And someone somewhere has the answer.
Right.
But who?
Right. Where is it?
Where did they file that information 6 months ago?
Exactly. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack of digital clutter.
Ugh, it's the worst.
And that's not just annoying.
Right.
It's a huge productivity killer.
Oh, for sure.
And this is where Zach's psychology background comes into play.
Okay.
He understands that feeling connected,
Yeah.
like you're part of a team,
Mm-hmm.
is essential for people to do their best work.
And that's where Grapevine's approach gets interesting.
Okay. How's
It's not just another tool to add to the pile.
Good.
They're trying to create this central nervous system for a company.
Interesting.
A way to bring everything together
Okay.
and make information flow more naturally.
It's like the difference between a tangled mess of wires and a well-organized circuit board.
Yes, exactly.
And one of the ways Grapevine does this is through what they're calling a company social intranet.
Okay, break that down for me.
How is it different?
How is it different from the dusty old intranets we're used to?
Think of it like Facebook.
Uh-huh.
But for your company,
Okay.
you've got updates on projects,
Mm-hmm.
kudos from colleagues,
Okay.
maybe even a quick poll to decide what everyone's ordering for the virtual team lunch.
Okay, now that sounds way more engaging than scrolling through endless policy updates
Right.
and stale announcements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about bringing that social human element back into the digital workplace. And it's not just about fun stuff either.
Right.
Remember that information overload problem we were talking about?
Oh, don't remind me.
Yeah.
It's like my brain has reached maximum capacity for random tabs and apps.
Well, imagine having this search bar that's connected to everything in your company's digital world.
Oh.
That's what Grapevine is doing with their search sidebar feature.
Okay, so instead of wasting an hour trying to find that client proposal from 6 months ago,
Yes.
buried in some email thread.
Right.
It's
It's a quick search, and you're back on track.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
okay.
What Google did for searching the internet,
Yeah.
Grapevine wants to do for company information.
Now, that's ambitious.
Right.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
The easier it is to find information,
Right.
the more time we have to actually, do our jobs.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about efficiency.
Okay.
When everyone can easily access the knowledge and insights within a company,
Yeah.
it breaks down those silos that can make collaboration such a pain.
Oh, so no more. Oh, I didn't know you were working on that moments.
Ideally, a lot less of those.
I like it.
And it gets even more interesting when you look at their
Okay.
employee profiles and directory feature.
Okay, so standard stuff, right? Names, titles,
Well,
maybe a cheesy headshot.
Not quite.
Okay.
Zach talks about how in a remote setting, it's easy to feel disconnected from your colleagues.
Yeah.
You might not even know what half of them do all day,
Right.
let alone their interests or career goals.
It's like you're working with a bunch of avatars instead of actual people.
Exactly. So these profiles are designed to be more than just a list of names.
Okay.
It's a chance for people to showcase their skills, share a bit about themselves, maybe even connect over a shared love of vintage sci-fi novels.
So it's like a virtual water cooler.
Right.
But instead of gossiping about the latest office drama,
Exactly.
you're building genuine connections that can lead to better collaboration and a stronger sense of belonging.
And again, this is where Zach's psychology background shines through.
Okay.
He understands that feeling valued and part of a community is essential, whether you're in the same room or 1,000 miles apart.
So it's not just about building a better to-do list app.
Right.
It's about creating a digital space where people actually want to be.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, with all this talk about the future of work,
Yeah.
how does Grapevine actually fit into a world where we're using a zillion different tools and platforms?
That's the thing. They're not trying to replace everything.
Okay.
Zach's vision for Grapevine is more like a central nervous system,
Okay.
connecting all those different apps and platforms that companies are already using.
So it's less about creating another standalone tool
Right.
and more about designing the operating system for this new world of work.
That's exactly.
Pretty ambitious.
Yeah, absolutely. But even with all the technology and grand visions, Zach keeps coming back to one key ingredient for success,
Which is...
and that's passion.
Right. He talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
You've got to be obsessed with the problem you're solving.
You have to be obsessed.
Especially when you're building something from scratch.
Exactly. And it's not just about the excitement of the initial idea.
Okay.
It's about having that fire in your belly to keep going when things get tough.
Right.
Because, as Zach points out, building the future is rarely a smooth ride.
Oh, never. Yeah.
Okay, so what's his advice?
Spill the wisdom.
He emphasizes the importance of realistic expectations.
Okay.
Building something new,
Yeah.
whether it's a company, a product, or even just a new way of working within your team.
Hey.
It takes time.
Right.
And it usually takes more time than we initially anticipate.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm the queen of underestimating how long a project will take.
Yeah.
But I'm also hearing what you're saying about realistic expectations not being about pessimism, but more about,
Right.
well, keeping things in perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about going in with your eyes wide open.
Right.
That way, when you inevitably hit those bumps in the road,
Mm-hmm.
and you will,
We will.
they don't completely derail you.
Yeah, because it's not about avoiding challenges altogether.
Right.
It's about having that resilience to adapt, learn from those setbacks, and just keep moving forward.
Right.
You know, it's interesting to hear Zach talk about this because it's something that applies not only to entrepreneurs,
Right.
but to anyone navigating this new world of work.
Exactly. It's that adaptability and resilience that are going to be key in the future job market.
Yeah.
Which leads us to Zach's final point.
Okay.
He throws out this question that I think is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It really stayed with me.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
He asks, what does your ideal work environment look like?
Okay.
Not just the good enough for now
Okay.
or the slightly less chaotic than my current situation,
Mm-hmm.
but truly ideal.
Yeah.
What would it take to get you jumping out of bed on a Monday morning,
Yeah.
excited to dive into work?
I love that he leaves us with a question.
Right.
Almost like a challenge, because it shifts the focus from just solving problems to proactively designing the future we want to work in.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's pushing us to take ownership of our work lives.
He is.
And for me, that's pretty inspiring.
Right. And the best part is there's no single right answer.
That's true.
It's about each of us defining what matters most.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's flexibility,
Yeah.
maybe deep collaboration.
Okay.
Maybe it's finally conquering that inbox monster once and for all.
Right. So, to everyone listening,
Yeah.
here's your call to action.
Okay.
What does your ideal work environment look like?
I love it.
Don't overthink it. Just jot down whatever comes to mind.
Yes.
Maybe it's a vision board. Maybe it's a voice memo.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a conversation with a friend or colleague.
Mm-hmm.
But get it out there, because the future of work isn't something that just happens to us.
That's right.
It's something we create.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be the one building the next Grapevine.
Right.
The platform that changes how we work and connect for the better.
Now, wouldn't that be something? That's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Okay.
We hope this sparked some ideas
Yes.
and got you thinking differently about the future of work.
For sure.
Until next time, keep asking questions.
Okay.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
And keep building the future you want to see.
I like it.